So look, it's that day. Today is the day, of course, we're celebrating because it is CJAD's 80th anniversary. We went on the air back in 1945 on this date, and we're marking the occasion today. There will also be an induction. Another great CJAD broadcaster will be on the Wall of Fame. I don't know who it is. It's been kept a secret from us, but we will find out tonight when we actually have this ceremony in the building. Some of you will be here. You won tickets during the course of the week. Others, you may have gone online and won tickets. If you are not going to be here tonight, the good news is you can still see what's going on because it will be on our YouTube channel. So if you go to youtube.com, go to the CJD 800 channel, you can actually be kind of part of it and see what's going to happen here tonight. So starting at 6 p.m., as soon as we get done here on my show, you can log on and see what's going on. All right, 6 o'clock. We've talked to a variety of people. I started the show today by talking to Bill Brownstein, who, of course, I think he said he thinks he's been doing this for something like close to 40 years, right, with different people over the years. He used to do an entertainment feature. Now he's on Weekends with Joanne Fracas. Rick Moffat has been here for a long time as well, long-time play-by-play commentator, and at one point, our former program director here at CJD, and he is on the line. Rick, how are you?
I'm good, Aaron, and happy anniversary to you and to everybody in the halls and studios of CJD today.
So, Rick, it's been a long time. I think the last time I saw you was when we were on Fort Street. When did you start here? How long were you here?
Well, between CJD and CJFM, just down the hall, I put in almost 35 years there, so that was pretty good. And yes, I like to say the only time I actually worked for a living were the couple of years during my reign of error when I was allowed to be the program director.
How'd that go?
You know what? That was a lot of stress headaches. It was a marvelous experience.
Yeah.
Met some amazing and incredibly talented people, got to work with them, but it did not create the biggest stress headache of my life. That, Aaron, I got to say, for about 7 years, better part of 7 years, I had the incredible honor that I had never even dreamed of being the play-by-play voice of the Montreal Canadiens.
That's right.
And we're on the road in the playoffs. It was 2004. The Habs had pulled off this stunning upset over the Bruins in round one and went on to face the Tampa Bay Lightning. And it was a Sunday game, as I recall, in Tampa. And the lead into the pregame show was Andrew Carter's weekend interview feature show. And appropriately, he had Dick Irvin as his guest. And I was just enamored with the tales of Habs hockey, who could not be, that Dick Irvin was spinning during this interview with Andrew. And then almost as a throwaway at the end of the show, minutes before our pregame show was about to kick in, Andrew says, "Well, what are you going to be doing tonight, Dick?" And he said, "Oh, well, I'll have the Habs on TV, but I'll turn down the television and listen to the game on CJAD." Wow. Oh, my gosh. I was gobsmacked. It was like I had an elbow to the head. It's like, dear Lord, are you serious? Dick Irvin, the legendary Hall of Fame broadcaster, is going to be listening to me? It was the most humbling moment in my radio career, and I had a stress headache for the next 3 hours.
Did you ever hear from Dick after the fact, Rick?
Dick was very kind to me, both in the years preceding and after during my stint as play-by-play voice. And I actually still have a Montreal Canadiens golf bag that Dick gave to me after one of the Canadiens golf tournaments one year. So that's one of the many incredible opportunities that I was given, courtesy of CJAD.
Do you remember how did you end up getting here? Where are you from originally?
From Lachine. CJAD was on every morning at breakfast in our household. And in fact, I was talking to a buddy of mine who's now out in Vancouver, and we were talking about that incredible April Fool's Day when Ted Blackman announced that Ken Dryden was ending his 1 year hiatus from hockey to return to tend the net for the Canadiens in the playoffs. And it startled me, and Dryden was my favorite Hab of all time, of course, and And so, but it was one of those just amazing moments in CJD history. And years later, Ted Blackman, I got to call him a mentor when I joined the CJD sports department. And it was ironic because he told me, never, ever lie to your audience, even if it's as a gag on April Fools. And I thought, wow, but one of my clearest memories of listening to Ted Blackman was that April Fool's morning when he conned all of us that Dryden was coming out of his retirement.
That's the same Ted Blackman, by the way. I can't believe you actually told him. That's really quite interesting when you consider beyond the Ken Dryden story that he and Balkan, when they were not working at the same stations anymore, showed up April Fools, right, at different radio stations trying to make us believe that they had switched. So for him to say to you, don't even do it as a joke, I'd never heard that before. So there you go.
Yeah.
Things you learn.
And I think of other amazing people. Like I got into journalism and my big ambition was to be a sports writer like Michael Farber.
Right.
And here I was then decades later doing the sports on the Andrew Carter Morning Show. And the best part of the job for me was not only did I get to chat on the air with Michael every morning, but he called me and we got to chit chat off air. And it was just my great joy. And Michael remains a friend and gave me the best retirement advice I ever had. He said, don't retire from something, retire to something. And I like to think I've taken some of that to heart.
You know, it's funny, as you tell that story, I think back to when I worked here the first time, so that's 78, 79. And as you tell the story about, being able to talk to your hero, to Michael Farber, to be on the show with George, I think back as a kid back then, right? It was my early 20s. And I think back to that, phone call. Do you remember Bob Dunn?
Yes, of course.
So Bob Dunn was sports director at the time at CJD, and I was working upstairs at FM 96 when we were still on Mountain Street, and the phone rang one morning. I was actually leaving to take a job at Shome, and Bob Dunn called me up and said, "Can you come downstairs for a minute?" And I said, "Sure." And I went downstairs, and he offered me a job doing sports on George Balkan's show, which, as a young bro, it was like hitting a Grand Slam home run. There would not be a better job, and I was a big sports fan at the time, and that's how I ended up here the first time. So to hear you say, you know what, that's what it was like for you working with those people, I think people need to understand that. We were young broadcasters at the time, and that was just an absolutely incredible opportunity.
Well, you and I were blessed to have incredible role models from our youth listening, but then our careers timed out that we brushed elbows and worked with some of these incredible Hall of Famers like Balkan, like Gord Sinclair, like Blackman, and I still keep in touch with the legendary Thumbs Repaw. In fact, I tease Thumbs a couple of times a year, Aaron, that we're going to collaborate on the unauthorized biography of CJD. We just can't decide on whether there should be an Aaron Rand chapter in it or not.
Yeah, well, you can figure that out on your own. I think you'll be fine. People, what's Rick up to these days? What are you doing these days? Can I ask?
Yeah, of course. You know what? I'm doing some volunteer work for the Montreal Alouettes, actually, working with their alumni association, and I'm just loving that, reaching out and reconnecting and helping some of the former Owls reconnect together. That's a lot of fun in 2025. Professionally, I've kind of changed gears a bit. I'm a sometimes substitute teacher, lunch monitor, and recess supervisor at Morin Heights Elementary School. And I'm just loving it.
Good for you. Hey, it is nice to hear, and I'm sure for a lot of people listening, a familiar voice from CJD in Rick Moffat. Rick, thank you so much. Really appreciate you coming on with us today. Thanks again.
You're welcome, Aaron, and please do me one quick favor. Would you give that microphone in Master Control a big hug and a kiss for me?
I don't know if I can do that, Rick. I'm not.
Please.
Let me think about it. I have to. I'm not sure.
All right.
But by the way, did you work in this studio? Were you here on René Lévesque at all, ever?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you mean this mic here, that one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, that I can do. I thought you meant on the other side of the glass.
On it, right?
I can do that. Rick Moffat. Rick, thanks so much. Appreciate it, buddy. All the best.
My pleasure, Aaron.
Take good care.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian-owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years.
And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.